something a little bit different here. It's going to sound a bit choppy because what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to go through each one of these Economist magazine cover, which is the Economist magazine, I believe, is owned by the Rothschild family dynasty, and they always put out weird covers. And usually, a lot of people say, Illuminati, New World Order, whatever. Call them really corrupt people, whatever you want to refer to them as, lizard people. It's up to you. But there is always symbolism that only in hindsight that you can see. Okay, well, this is what they were talking about. Uh, of in their cover, and their cover there's a whole bunch of encrypted messages in there, and I'm going to go through. There's 8 cards on the cover, and I'm going to see if I can go through each one of them one at a time. So it's going to be a bit choppy, so because I got to stop the recording and put that on there, and then say, okay, wow, this is what I think about each card and whatever, and we'll have a look at it and we'll see what goes where, and we'll go from there. Alrighty, so let's get into this. All right, so the first card is a tower with like a lightning bolt or whatever going through it. And there's smoke on top of it. You have a cross of religious people on one side. You have communism on the other side. You see the communist flag. And then there's something in the doorway there. I can't quite see what it is. Get this closer to my face here. Looks like a note on the door. And the door's closed. And you see a cross. So it looks like you see like there's also kind of like a second tower within. That type of thing. What could that mean? Well, we do know that you could say right now you have the world is kind of like the left versus the right. It could mean something like that. One empire is crumbling as the new one's taking place. There's a notice on the door. You can see on the left side, it's got the communist thing, but on the left side of the castle, it's got all the crosses. And then on the right side, you see the cross there. So is this a symbolism for I don't know, nationalism versus globalism, left versus right, atheism versus Christianity? What could this be? And you can see the smoke at the top of the tower and the lightning strike. So it's basically like a bolt of lightning going through. And we know that, for example, the Vatican, the day the Pope was put in there, the Vatican was struck by lightning. We know about the lightning strike of the over there in Mecca, possibly with the Ark of Gabriel. And what's like 4,000 people died in that. They said it was a stampede, which it does happen during their mass pilgrimage. Usually about 1,000 people per year usually get killed, but last year it was basically 4,000. And then of course in Antarctica, all the stuff going on in Antarctica. So does it have something to symbolize there? I don't know. So that's the first card. We'll have to play it out and see what happens. But usually you could see, everything in here is some sort of symbolism for something. These people do use numerology. They do use. I'm not a tarot card expert at all. I'm sure somebody will come along and say, no, that's not what that card means. It means something else. So you guys, think of what you mean. But the main details, and there's probably something I'm missing here too, is, like for even example, something like the windy road going into the tower with the notice. What does that notice say? What does that symbolize? What does the windy road symbolize towards it? All that stuff. So that's the first card. I think it's only at the end of the year. If you look at each cover after, that's when you kind of see some of the symbolism, and then we look at what happens in the world, and in hindsight, you go back and look at these things and say, okay, well, because this happened that year, and this and this and this happened within a year, and on this Rothschild Economist magazine cover, you see this, this, and this. There's a good chance that that's what they set up. But anyway, we'll move on to the next card. Okay, so let's get into the second card. This is the Judgment card, and this one is basically Trump sitting on top of the world. He's got a bag in his hand. It looks like there's a clock dial on the bag. He's got a scepter. He's sitting on the American flag. He's sitting over North America, and he's judging North America. What else can we say about this card? Obviously Trump is definitely the news, and he's wearing a black suit. What does that symbolize? I don't know. He's got a tie on, but the way the flag is coiled and draped, it has that kind of don't tread on me kind of snake kind of coil to it. But you notice how the drape is going towards over Europe and stuff like that. So maybe that's something, and on the back end, I guess it's going to cover the other side of the world with the American flag. I guess is I don't know what that would symbolize, but he's sitting on top of the world as well. So again, is this that he's going to judge the world? The first card was the tower crumbling, and now you've got basically an emperor-like Trump sitting there. Some people like Trump, some people don't. I get that, but at the end of the day, I don't know what judgment is going to be passed upon the world. Is it Trump passing judgment on the world, or the world going to be judgment passed on the world because of Trump? I mean, a different way to look at it. You guys tell me what you think, but again, these Illuminati kind of cards, or kind of symbolism. There could be a whole bunch of stuff I'm missing too. So you guys tell me what you guys think. All right, so we're moving along to the third card. The third card is basically got, here we go. Okay, you got books, you've got a painting, you've got, I can't clearly see what that is on above the pyramid there. You see how everything is kind of joined. It looks like banking. I guess you've got Egypt there, North America, and I guess Europe. You got two bankings and a pyramid. So does that mean, and you can see that they've got rings that join them all up, and painting a picture, I don't know again what that little thing is there. It's the card is kind of small, so you got one book above the banking, one picture above the banking, and then whatever that other thing is above the pyramid. And then you've got two books at the very top in the middle of the sun. And there's beams coming out of the rays of the sun. How many beams is that? What does that symbolize? I don't know. But notice one book is open and one isn't. And the book that is open is above the pyramid. So this could be something, who knows what that is. The book below, the one has basically a different cover with the black and the red on it here. I'm just going to see if I can open that up for myself. In another, sorry about this, I should have been a little bit better prepared. But again, these are symbolizing something that they want to do, or they're predicting. And the Economist magazine is basically forecasting, financial stuff like that. But if you follow these people, you truly find out right away that they, I'm going to zoom in on this here, that they, okay, yeah, it's masks. You see there's the laughing mask and the frowning mask above the pyramid. And okay, so the one, sorry, the correction here. Sorry about this. I'll get the next card better. The book is open, and you see one page is a little darker and a little more blurred. It looks like what a redacted document would look like from the DHS or the CIA or whatever. But that book's open. But it's a picture of a woman in a gold frame to the left, and you've got, I guess, just a basic landscape on the painting on the bottom, and then the other book again, red and black, above, I guess, it looks like a bank. Notice one bank kind of looks like it has an all-seeing eye and a dome on it, the one in the center. What does that represent? Now, the pyramid thing, the masks over the pyramid, could that represent maybe uprisings in Egypt again? It's hard to say. It's really hard to say. And again, you'll have to count all these lines coming out of the sun. I don't know what else I could say about this card. But very interesting. So is this setting us up for, for example, let's look at these masks, the rich and the poor, maybe, or the wage disparities, of that. And you can see how it's all linked to the bank. What does the artworks, mean? You can see how the stuff that is linked together, and then you've got these two, the painting and the books. Does that mean breakaway society at the top of basically a new, form of arts, a new type of, I don't know, books, teachings, science, whatever? It's hard to say. So anyway, I guess we'll move on to the next card now. Yeah, so you guys tell me what you think about this one. Okay, we're moving on to the fourth card now. I'm just going to pull up that card so I can get a little more on top of it. And where are we going here? This one is the Hermit card. So it's a stop, TTIP, TPP, EU, and there's a no sign, and there's a bunch of signs in the background of people coming to the valley here. and you have, it looks like a shepherd of some sort. I guess that's the hermit. You've got a half moon. You've got a few stars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stars. You have mountains. You have 4 mountain peaks, 3, 4 ridges or valleys type of thing. And you have a planet. Looks like a part of the planet cracked in half. Now, what country that's representing, I don't know if that's representing Europe. It kind of looks like it's representing Europe. You see the globe coming out. So everything in here has some. Remember, these people they're deeply religious and superstitious. Although you wouldn't think world elites are like that, but they do. If you watch these people long enough, they're extremely religious or whatever. Now, another thing is, notice that the signs are either blue or red, and there's one white one. So all the signs are either blue or red, or one white one, and they all have black or white writing on them. Again, what are they trying to symbolize? Uh, Notice there's an X through the TTIP and the TPP, and the EU. Those are out, but there's no X through the stop or the no. And the ones in the background you can't really tell. I'll zoom in a bit here maybe, but I don't think it really. No, it's no clearer even on my zoom. Yeah, so you can see that the guy holding the lantern, and I guess he's the hermit, to show people who this. Now, is this what you call the alt-right, the kind of new breakaway society that's coming out? I don't know. We'll have to, see what that is. But I think that's probably populism uprising is what they're really symbolizing in that. So, again, tell me what you guys think. We'll move on to the next one. The next one is the one that's, I think, the most worrisome. All right, just going to pull up card number 5 here. Again, this is the one that's the most troublesome and worrisome because of what's there. Okay, so obviously the immediate thing you draw yourself to is the mushroom cloud, and the thing you have to look at. Okay, this goes back more to ancient battles and stuff like that. Notice the horse has 1 foot up, and you've got the Grim Reaper on the horse there with his sai, and his sai is facing backwards, and you've got these giant wasp-like things above his head. Again, you have a whole bunch of rays coming out of the sun, but the sun is basically halfway set. There's 2 rings around, or there's a ring around the mushroom cloud. You see a dead fish there, and it looks like a dried out river. But it looks like there's like nuggets of gold everywhere. Like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 nuggets of gold. But the interesting thing is the horse with 1 hoof up. Now, years ago, meaning, pretty much in medieval times and earlier, whenever a soldier or whatever, or a commander or somebody of prominent stature would die in battle, depending on where the hooves were, depending on how the man died. If 1 hoof was up, and maybe the guy died after the battle. If both hooves were in the air, the guy died during the battle. I can't remember if it's exactly like that. If all hooves are on the ground, the man lived a long life, whatever. If the horse is bowing, I forget what that symbolizes. But anyway, there is symbolism there. So you maybe have something like that. Now, the Grim Reaper's also pointing at something. It looks like, well, no, he's not pointing. No, it's just the way his hand's drawn there. So, yeah, this is the most disturbing card. And notice the sun is red and the sky is yellow. So these are something, again, what are they trying to convey here? The death of what exactly? Are we talking like a financial collapse? Again, the dead fish and stuff like that. Or are we actually talking a war? Now, the way these cards are arranged, one thing you have to keep in mind, too, is how do they unveil this plan? Like, exactly what does this card go... I mean, the fact that this is called the Death card, and I know in Tarot there is a Death card, it's usually a bad omen, I would think. Like, I don't think there's much good you could say that could possibly be symbolized here. But this is the card that worries the most, because are we talking about a nuclear war or a possibility of false flags, that type of thing? When we're talking about these world elites, what are they trying to tell us? And one thing about these psychopathic world elites you have to keep in mind is that they're always signaling and trying to tell you what they're doing. The thing is because the way psychopathy works is they're always trying to show off their handiwork. It's kind of like the serial killer who always wants to be caught. That way he can be truly admired for his handiwork. Well, that's how these world elites are. Like, well, we told you that we're screwing up the world and you didn't do anything about it, so that's on you, not on us. That's why these people think, right? But that said, what kind of stuff do they have planned if they're showing cards like this? You guys, what do you take out of it? And the fact that there's only two bumblebees in the air and one fish. Again, the numerology thing. If you're more into that than I am, again, I'm just kind of looking at this and drawing attention to it. I don't know, because usually the Economist magazine. Remember the thing about 2017 is that back in 1989, the Economist magazine put out a cover which had a phoenix rising from the ashes of basically dead currencies and basically a one world currency medallion around its neck. And in order for that to happen, you have to destroy every other single currency on the planet. Think of what has to happen for that to happen. All right, so I'll move on to the next card. All right, so the next card is the Magician card, which I will pull up here and have a closer look at. Okay, so you've got some Egyptian symbolism up on above with that figure eight there. You've got the halo, you've got virtual reality thing that he's got on, and 3D, and he's pressing the button, 3D printing button, and you've got all these rollers. He's wearing a robe, a red robe, and it's got basically a golden kind of rope around him. He's got some sort of a band around his arm, and he's got it looks like a light bulb at the top of the scepter. So is this for technological boom? But considering the previous card, one of the things David Rockefeller always talked about was how he wanted to microchip every single human being on the planet. And last year at Davos, although Davos is coming around the corner, it's going to be shadowed by the inauguration of Trump, but people should still pay attention to Davos, because every time the Davos meeting to me is like the public Bilderberger meeting. It's pretty much all the world elites getting together. Look at last year. They talked about virtual reality and robot economy and all this. And what are they pushing? Driverless cars. That's all they talk about on the news is driverless cars and that type of stuff. Cashless society. That's all they're pushing. That's whatever they talk about at Davos. That's what the world elites. That's the direction they want to take the planet. The problem is it's not organic, and because of that, this is where the world elites are out of touch with the people. Even the ones that are not, like, I don't think all these people are evil. I think the ones at the very, very top are evil. They have, again, all this control grid and the idea of a cashless society. Just think about that. Do you guys remember the movie Judge Dredd from the 1990s, the one with Sandra Bullock and Sylvester Stallone? Not the newer one, but the older one, where pretty much, you've got this kind of utopianistic looking society, but let's say you let out an F-bomb and out comes this fine for you, type of thing like that. Well, think about a cashless society, and this is what the Rothschild dynasty really wants, is a cashless society and all these world elites, because they say it's, anybody, basically they brand it at anybody using cash is doing it for nefarious reasons. That the government should be regulating every single cent spending. So your little girl or little boy wants to go out and sit on the sidewalk and have a lemonade stand. They can't. Why? Because they'll have to have some sort of electronic processing device for currency. And all the currency now, I think 80 to 90% of the world's currency is all digital. It's not even worth the printed money. It's not even printed on. But the thing is that the control system that becomes, it basically turns your society into an open air prison. Yes, cashless society, the idea of people using bank cards and stuff like that, sure, that's very convenient and it's safer than carrying around cash most of the time. But think about it if you become a political dissident. The laws that they're going to bring out. First they bring out the cashless society, everybody adapts to it, nobody has a problem with it. Then suddenly, we have a problem with this type of person in society. They say bad things. They have this wrong thing. Maybe what we can do is start just automatically deducting it from their paychecks till they learn to get in line. So basically, okay, you don't get your kids vaccinated, we're going to cut your paycheck. You don't, whether you take issue with it or not, you're going to speak out against the government, we're going to cut your paycheck. That type of thing. Now you'd say they'd never do that because there'd be a revolt. Well, look how far we're at now. You know what I mean? With the corrupt world banking system and the IMF, which is Rothschild owned as well. Pretty much the Rothschilds own everything, right? Rockefellers, Rothschilds, and 13 other prominent families. Or they're part of 13 prominent families. You got Oppenheimers in Africa or whatever with the diamond trade, and all these groups they want to run everything, and they use their philanthropists like George Soros, etc., with all these NGO groups, which are government workers that really don't realize what they're doing. Some of them do, but some of them don't. Like most government workers have no idea how complacent they are in and aiding these things to go. people look at it, oh, well, I'm going to get a good paying government job. They don't look at it, hey, well, that good paying government job is what's holding back my society from prospering. They don't look at it like that, right? And it really is hard for people to get out of that can of worms. So the idea that, 3D printing, and the fact that they're printing houses. So what is this reference to? Is this reference to a, basically the housing bubble? I don't know. Who knows what this conveyor belt? Are they just going to print, more cash for the financial system to prop up the housing market? What are they going to do with this? The other one is the idea that the guy's wearing the virtual reality thing. So to just alter people's, fool people into believing everything is fine when it's not. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think about this card. Maybe there's some details. I mean, in this case, the table that is yellow, and the background is blue. So I don't know what that symbolizes. But we'll have to wait and see what really happens in 2017. But I think we're going to see in hindsight, okay, this is what they were referring to. Remember, these people, the market, I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm smart enough to know that these are not organic markets. These are basically manipulated beyond belief. So they already know what's coming. It's just how are the people going to react to it, right? All right, so we'll go to the next card. All right, so I just want to finish up one last thing about the magician card. Is that also like to keep the virtual reality, to keep people, thinking, trying to pull the wool over everybody's eyes, to keep everything, thinking everything's okay, so that they can keep the housing bubble going, that type of thing. There's some that. So the next card here is the Wheel of Fortune. I'll pull this card up. Okay, and this is the 7th card. Now, it's hard to say who's on there. I mean, I'm trying to. One looks like Merkel. The lady in red looks like Merkel. I guess the other lady. The other lady is the UK Prime Minister. I'm not too sure who the dude is on the bottom. Kind of looks like Geet Wilders, but I don't know who it is. You have 2 ballot boxes, both with X. One is draped over. One ballot is draped over. The other one on. It seems like all the stuff on the right is a little bit different. There seems to be a theme there. Now, you can see that the wheel that they're on, they're tied to it, number one. And Merkel doesn't have a good look on her face. Neither does the other two. Just kind of have a neutral look on their face. Merkel and the other guy are looking forward. I don't think that's Francois Hollande. I don't know who that's supposed to be. But what do you call it? The other lady. Notice she's looking off to the well, I guess it'd be her right. And there's a moon, and the sky is basically yellow. The ground is red. Is that signifying blood on the ground? I don't know. And notice Merkel there, if that's Merkel, she's getting hit by lightning and a storm. So it looks like there's going to be a storm now. Unless that, okay, yeah. So you got Germany, you've got, sorry, the other, that's probably Marine Le Pen. That's probably who that is. And the other guy is probably the Austrian Freedom Party. I'm trying to figure out, because you got a French flag, you got a German flag, and I don't know who that other flag is. So whoever that other flag is, that's who that person is. And his tie is touching the ground. His tie is red. So I guess that's probably Marine Le Pen. That. Because that's a French flag there. Sorry, I didn't pick up on that. My bad. But notice they're all tied, and they're tied by the feet and around the chest. And, of course, I guess that's so that they're on the wheel. So this, I guess, is... you see, again, that it's on the right, that the ballot on the right is facing up, and the ballot on the left is facing down. But is that predicting a right-wing win? Like, say, for Marine Le Pen and all the other people on the right, like the Austrian Freedom Party just lost, so they didn't lose by very much, but they lost. But notice there's a bit of a left lean to the bow wheel, and it's got the hand crank on it or whatever. What else could we say about this card? I don't know. There's probably more here than meets the eye, but I'll leave it at about that because I don't know what else to really say about this card. The other thing, too, is notice, again, Merkel is in red. The other two are in black. Both have, you can see the shirt buttons on him. You can see 4 shirt buttons on him and 2 on I guess, Marine Le Pen, if that's Marine Le Pen. So Hmm. And notice too, the blood heaps are heaping into the center. So if they're, the ground is kind of representative of rivers flowing of blood or whatever, it's heaping into the center and then it comes down right down the center. So is that representing a clash? I don't know. What do you guys think? Anyway, I'll leave that one at that one. At that. And we'll move on to the last card. All right, this is the last card, card number 8, and this is known as the Star. Let's have a look. I'm going to have to zoom in on this one a bit. Okay, so you got a whole bunch of stars with a whole bunch of faces, but they all look relatively young. And then right in the center, you've got, looks like a comet, and then it looks like it's the surface of the moon, which is red. And then you got those little nuggets on there again. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 little nuggets on the moon. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 asteroid strikes. Is that for mining of the moon? Now, the stars. Let's look at these stars. The white stars. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, sorry. Get lost here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stars. And then the medallion stars. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 women. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 men. Yeah, okay, yeah. You got 5. Yeah, so 6 men and 9 women, I guess, is what you got here. I can't clearly see who the pictures of these people are. And each star has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 little kind of points out of it. Huh. But the comet in the center is the one that kind of should worry you. So, or not. That either represents that, for example, from the making of this video about a week ago, about a 10-story high or bit large asteroid just missed Earth. It had passed like basically 500,000 miles between Earth and the Moon, and NASA didn't see this one coming, or they didn't let us know it was coming. I guess they're waiting to see if it was going to hit or not. But it just tells you how these world elites are. They wouldn't tell you if it would hit us anyway. The other thing is all the talk about mining asteroids. Yeah, NASA's been talking about that. You've got a whole bunch of talk about that. So this card again, what is it? The star, or is it referring to? We're going to see 15 prominent. Like 2016 was very, probably one of the worst years for, celebrity deaths. Maybe that's what it's referring to. If that's, that's not really a big deal. We'll survive that. Most of the stars now are whatever. Okay, a lot of them are baby boomers. They're old. They're going to die. Whatever. The other thing it could represent. Now this gets a little more on the far side. All the people that are disappearing, are they heading off to some sort of other planet? You never know. God knows what conspiracy theories go there. Who knows what kind of technology we really truly have. Anti-gravity, an 8-year-old with a science kit can figure out anti-gravity, but, on the small scale. But to make it work on, moving people from Earth to some, to the far side of the moon, that type of thing, or whatever, the theory's there. The theory is there. The theory to meet the speed of light is there. It's just the technical know-how is not in the public. If that's what's going on. Again, have they done it? Who knows? But CERN exists. So if they could build something as big as CERN, I'm pretty sure they've got somebody working on anti-gravity. You just think about the money that they put into those things. Do they work? Do they not? That we don't know. We won't know until they ever tell us or we accidentally find out. Also, too, with everything going on in Antarctica, there's rumors from guys like Cliff High, for example, talking about how they're going to start to divulge some of the alien technology that they might have. That's his saying, not mine. For me, I'm neutral on the subject. I'm not beyond the comprehension that there could be more advanced beings than us, because I'm not saying they exist, but what I'm saying is the possibility is definitely there, because think of the technological boom we've had in the past 150 years. Unbelievable. The most in human history. And if we look at it from a point of view that possibly we're not alone on the in the universe. I think it's impossible that we would be alone. But what does intelligent life look like on other planets? That we don't know. And with that type of thing, could this be referring to some of the people that are either going to blow the whistle and tell us, what's on the dark side of the moon, so to speak, or who our closest space neighbors are? Who knows? That could, or will something just be heading towards Earth that is undeniable, and it's like, okay, this is where the technology is. But according to Cliff Eye, they're going to start to reveal things. Some people have talked about shows like Ancient Aliens and stuff like that as gatekeepers, where they're just kind of buttering you up so people aren't super shocked when they find out the truth. And the thing is, it's not so much that they'll be shocked when if they find out truth, whether this is a possibility or not. It's how pissed they'll be at the government that kept it, wouldn't tell the people, because the people can't handle the truth. It's just, why not tell us? It's like, why do you always have to lie? And that's a big thing. Or is this just going to be a rash of celebrity deaths, or is this going to be, I don't know, people, 15 prominent people becoming, basically extremely popular for whatever reason? Who knows? Who knows? And what are they going to bring to humanity? But the curious one is the either meteor or comet or whatever that is. Possibly asteroid. Who knows what that is? And we do know about that big giant iron asteroid that NASA's looking at right now. This thing is basically 130 miles across, and it's huge. And they want to mine this thing because it's made out of pretty much solid iron. But just imagine a solid iron 130 mile across asteroid actually hitting us. Wow. Wow. Okay, so that's the 8 cards. What are they trying to tell us? Who knows? And with the world elites, like, I know some people, it's just conspiracy, you don't have to worry about it. But on the other hand, these world elites, they're not normal people. They might bleed red like the rest of us, but they don't believe themselves to be among of us unwashed masses. Sorry, that's backwards speaking here. I am in Quebec too, so have to forgive me for that. So the unwashed masses, they don't identify with us at all. Look at these Bilderbergers. Look at these people that go to Davos. None of these people have what you would call normal lives. They might think an egalitarian points of view and cultural Marxist and social communism or whatever kind of points of view of how their utopianistic shape of the world would go with their philanthropy and all that. But at the end of the day, no, these people, they're kind of mentally sick in a lot of ways. Because of their, when things don't go their way, they always resort to death. They always resort to destroying their opponent one way or another. And usually that is always results in a lot of people dying. The bankers want a one world currency. Okay, well, it just collapse the global economy. Everybody's country will go in shambles, and then out of it we'll just bring a new world currency, and they'll just accept it. But how many people have to die for that? Or we'll have a war. The economy's collapsing, we can't save it, so when all else fails, the bankers take us to war. And these people, again, they use numerology, they use the tarot cards. You can clearly see that, every Rothschild Economist magazine cover is always something bizarre. There's a difference between trying to catch people's attention and symbolization. And it's the symbolization that really, really pulls you into studying these covers. And, I mean, you could spend the rest of your life studying these covers, trying to decrypt and link up things that are going on in the world and say, okay, this is probably what they were talking about. We'll never truly know. All I know is we could just kind of get a general feeling that they don't have our best interest at heart. They never did. They never will. These people, they always tell you great things to your face, but their practices are usually death and destruction. So, I don't know. These are the 8 cards. What do you guys make of them? Maybe some of you guys that are more into the tarot card reading and stuff like that. I'm not. I just thought it was interesting that they put these on there. What are they trying to signal to us? I don't know. I guess I'll have to leave it at that. So, yeah, you guys just tell me what your thoughts are. Go look at these cards for yourself. Maybe I missed something. Maybe I'm completely off the beaten path, whatever. If you're better at this than I am, by all means. But have a look at it nonetheless. Because, again, these world elites, they don't live in the same world. They don't think practically like we do. We have a different mindset from them. And that's the first thing you have to realize. If they're taking things, particularly with the how much satanic ritual it seems to be. In like the Illuminati, are they just Satanists, or what are these people? What do they truly believe? And I will be doing things on the skulls and bones and all these other, the Freemasons and all that stuff. It takes time for it to get all this stuff up, but the thing you need to understand is that these people belong to belief systems that don't jive with the common person. That's the theme you got to take away here. And you got to also understand it very importantly that you're not in their group. They got a lot of people that think they're in their group, but they're not. Like George Soros is probably not in the in crowd. He's probably just trying to join it. That's a I'm making an assumption on that. Why would I say that? Because I think the people that are in the in crowd, you don't see their names unless they accidentally slip out. So I mean, who's above the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers? That's the kind of questions you got to ask. Who's above them? Who do they answer to? And what are they answering to? And the again, the belief systems these people have, if you follow them long enough, you get the idea that there's a darkness there. There's definitely a darkness there. There's something off. These people, I guess, I don't even know if you can call them human. Some of them, they're just pure evil. Look at George Soros. I mean, you can't get more pure evil than that. Henry Kissinger, you can't get more pure evil than that. These people are evil. Everything they spout is evil. Everything they try to accomplish is evil. Death and destruction, and just, it's evil. It's just evil. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. So if you like this kind of content, please consider making a donation to the channel. Links down below. Thank you so much to everybody who has. Next to that, rate, subscribe, share, comment, like. Be true to yourselves. Be true to others. Always do the right thing, and have yourselves a great day. G'day, hi, and welcome. All right, I'm going to do something a little bit different here. It's going to sound a bit choppy because what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to go through each one of these Economist magazine cover, which is the Economist magazine, I believe, is owned by the Rothschild family dynasty, and they always put out weird covers. And usually, a lot of people say, Illuminati, New World Order, whatever. Call them really corrupt people, whatever you want to refer to them as, lizard people. It's up to you, But there is always symbolism that only in hindsight that you can see, okay, well, this is what they were talking about, of in their cover. And their cover, there's a whole bunch of encrypted messages in there. And I'm going to go through, there's 8 cards on the cover, and I'm going to see if I can go through each one of them one at a time. So it's going to be a bit choppy, so, because I got to stop the recording and put that on there and then say, okay, well, this is what I think about each card and whatever. And we'll have a look at it and we'll see what goes where, and we'll go from there. Alrighty, so let's get into this. Alright, so the first card is a tower with like a lightning bolt or whatever going through it. And there's smoke on top of it. You have a cross of religious people on one side. You have communism on the other side. You see the communist flag, and then there's something in the doorway there. I can't quite see what it is. Get this closer to my face here. Looks like a note on the door, and the door's closed. And you see a cross, so it looks like you see like there's also kind of like a second tower within, that type of thing. What could that mean? Well, we do know that you could say right now you have the world is kind of like the left versus the right. It could mean something like that. One empire is crumbling as the new one's taking place. There's a notice on the door. You can see on the left side, it's got the communist thing, but on the left side of the castle, it's got all the crosses. And then on the right side, you see the cross there. So is this a symbolism for, I don't know, nationalism versus globalism, left versus right, atheism versus Christianity? What could this be? And you can see the smoke at the top of the tower and the lightning strike. So it's basically like a bolt of lightning going through. And we know that, for example, the Vatican, the day the Pope was put in there, the Vatican was struck by lightning. We know about the lightning strike of the over there in Mecca, possibly with the Ark of Gabriel. And what's like 4,000 people died in that. They said it was a stampede, which it does happen during their mass pilgrimage. Usually about 1,000 people per year usually get killed, but last year it was basically 4,000. And then, of course, in Antarctica, all the stuff going on in Antarctica. So does it have something to symbolize there? I don't know. So that's the first card. We'll have to play it out and see what happens. But usually you could see, everything in here is some sort of symbolism for something. These people do use numerology. They do use. I'm not a tarot card expert at all. I'm sure somebody will come along and say, no, that's not what that card means. It means something else. So you guys, think of what you mean. But the main details, and then there's probably something I'm missing here too, is, I mean, like for even example, something like the windy road going into the tower with the notice. What does that notice say? What does that symbolize? What does the windy road symbolize towards it? All that stuff. So that's the first card. I think it's only at the end of the year. If you look at each cover after, that's when you kind of see some of the symbolism, and then we look at what happens in the world, and in hindsight, you go back and look at these things and say, okay, well, because this happened that year, and this and this and this happened within a year, and on this Rothschild Economist magazine cover, you see this, this, and this. There's a good chance that that's what they set up. But anyway, we'll move on to the next card. Okay, so let's get into the second card. This is the Judgment card, and this one is basically Trump sitting on top of the world. He's got a bag in his hand. It looks like there's a clock dial on the bag. He's got a scepter. He's sitting on the American flag. He's sitting over North America, and he's judging North America. What else can we say about this card? I mean, obviously Trump is definitely the news, and he's wearing a black suit. What does that symbolize? I don't know. He's got a tie on, but the way the flag is coiled and draped, it has that kind of don't tread on me kind of snake kind of coil to it. But you notice how the drape is going towards over Europe and stuff like that. So maybe that's something, and on the back end, I guess it's going to cover the other side of the world with the American flag. I guess is I don't know what that would symbolize. But he's sitting on top of the world as well. So again, is this that he's going to judge the world? The first card was the tower crumbling, and now you've got basically an emperor like Trump sitting there. Some people like Trump, some people don't. I get that. But at the end of the day, I don't know what judgment is going to be passed upon the world. Is it Trump passing judgment on the world, or the world going to be judgment passed on the world because of Trump? I mean, a different way to look at it. You guys tell me what you think. But again, these Illuminati kind of cards,